Bizarre Global.
Arguably the most famous image taken of anything from outer space, the Pillars of Creation, is a photograph captured by the Hubble Space Telescope in 1995, which shows gigantic trunks of interstellar gas and dust in the Eagle Nebula, 7,000 light-years from Earth in the constellation Serpens. The pillars, which were discovered in 1745 by the Swiss astronomer Jean-Philippe de Chezeaux, can be observed through a small telescope, and is best viewed during July. These towering poles of cosmic dust and gas are part of an active star-forming region within the nebula, and hide newborn stars in their wispy columns. The blue colors in the image represent oxygen, red is sulfur, and green represents both nitrogen and hydrogen, according to NASA. The pillars are bathed in the scorching ultraviolet light from a cluster of young stars located just outside the frame. Stretching roughly 4 to 5 light-years, the Pillars of Creation are a fascinating but relatively tiny feature of the entire Eagle Nebula, which spans 70 by 55 light-years. Scientists have debated as to whether or not the Pillars of Creation are still around, but we finally have a real picture of what's going on. Back in 2007, a NASA study claimed that a supernova blast, that likely occurred between 1,000 and 2,000 years earlier, had destroyed the Pillars of Creation. Taking into account the 7,000-year time lag for their light to reach the Earth, that means the pillars could have actually been destroyed 6,000 years ago, and what we see through telescopes today is an antiquated version of the structure. This majestic view taken by NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope in 2007, shows what inspired NASA scientists to believe that the Pillars of Creation were destroyed. The color green denotes cooler towers and fields of dust, including the 3 famous space pillars, dubbed the Pillars of Creation. But it is the color red that concerns scientists about the drama taking place in this region at the time. Red represents hotter dust, thought to have been warmed by the explosion of a massive star about 8,000 to 9,000 years ago. Again, since light from the Eagle Nebula takes 7,000 years to reach us, this supernova explosion would have appeared as an oddly bright star in our skies about 1,000 to 2,000 years ago. According to astronomers back in 2007, the explosion's blast wave would have spread outward and toppled the 3 pillars about 6,000 years ago, which means we wouldn't witness the destruction for another 1,000 years or so, thus sparking the belief that the Pillars of Creation were already gone. Now we've learned that was in error, and they'll likely remain for hundreds of thousands of years before slowly evaporating away. In 2015, to celebrate 25 years of exploring the universe from low Earth orbit, the Hubble Space Telescope's cameras were used to revisit its most iconic image. The result was a sharper, wider view of the Pillars of Creation. According to American theoretical astrophysicist Ethan R. Siegel, the newer images from the Hubble Space Telescope allows us to look through the pillars themselves, to the stars behind them, and, perhaps more importantly, to the evaporating gas that's being burned off by the stars and cataclysmic events contained therein. Highlighted in blue in the current image, we can see that it's the incoming starlight that's slowly burning off the pillars, and that there's no evidence of a nearby recent supernova at all. The Spitzer data from 2007, as far as we can tell, was assigned an incorrect interpretation. What we can also do, however, is measure and quantify the rate of evaporation of these pillars, from both internal and external radiation combined. Changes between the images indicate that the pillars are still intact today, even though the light we're seeing came from 7,000 years ago. Moreover, the best evidence for changes comes at the base of the pillars, indicating an evaporation time on the order of between 100,000 and 1 million years. The idea that the pillars have already been destroyed has been demonstrated not to be true. There is no evidence that the Pillars of Creation have been destroyed by a supernova, but the stars around the pillars are slowly eroding it. However, it will take tens of thousands of years or more to completely destroy the pillars. We can enjoy their view for generations to come. Enjoy discussions about science, technology, the odd and paranormal? Consider joining our cult. I mean subscribing to our channel.